Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to the Tuesday, happy Halloween edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Clinic. Ooh, look, you tell this has been on a hanger for a long time. So you got like the little hanger marks right there. Ooh, I hate that. You hate to see it. Presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. All right, let's see. So Brian Kelly met with reporters on Monday to kick off LSU Bama week and gave the unfortunate news that we all expected, but had yet to be confirmed. Mekhi Wingo had surgery. Kelly said he's out for the season. Wingo did tweet last night, however, that he'd be back for the playoffs. So if it's a 6-week deal, it could play that way to where, you know, if LSU were to win out and make the playoff, Wingo could be back for that, which would be great if LSU made it. And then obviously if you had Wingo back, and then Zy Alexander out as well, knew that. That's very likely a season ender for Zy Alexander. So again, so we knew LSU was going to be shorthanded going into Tuscaloosa defensively. So Wingo, Zy Alexander, obviously you've been without Greg Brooks, but you know, 3 of your best defensive players, your best cornerback, your best safety, and your best returning defensive lineman all out for this game, and possibly or likely for the year. So, you know, my general feeling on this is those are massive losses. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Those 3 guys, and in particular, you know, because we've known about Brooks for a while, obviously, but Wingo and Alexander, you know, arguably the best on the team at their position. Alexander has been your best cornerback, and Wingo, you know, was certainly your best returning defensive lineman, but he's been playing hurt all year. You know, I don't want to say that it doesn't matter, because it does. You take good players off the field, it matters. You're talking about an LSU defense, though, that hasn't been good this year. So when you take players off a bad defense, I mean, whatever. You know, I mean, LSU wasn't going to win this game with defense. You know, if we were looking at a game where, you know, if this was like the 2011 9-6 game, and you were telling me LSU wasn't going to have Mo Claiborne, I'd be concerned. Mo came up with a huge pick in that game. You know what I mean? Like, this is just a game where it's really going to be a matter of 1 or 2 plays defensively to make a stop here or there. And of course, you'd rather have Zy Alexander, don't misunderstand me, but he's hardly been flawless this year. So, and again, I feel bad for him. I don't want to come down on Zy Alexander, because he has been your best guy, but it's not like he's been playing at an All-American level or even an All-Conference level. So would I rather have him? Of course. Similarly, I'm kind of excited to see Hughes and Welch, Stamps, if some of those young guys Toviano, go run around out there and see if they can make some plays, man. I mean, these were talented guys that got recruited to LSU for a reason. So let's see if they can go make plays. Maybe they can't. You know, but I also think LSU is going to go to Tuscaloosa and is going to score in the 30s, if not 40s. Respect Alabama's defense, but these are the types of offenses that have given Nick Saban's teams trouble. And there is no weakness on the LSU offense. There isn't. They're great. And if they go play their game, healthy, 2 weeks to prepare, Emory Jones is back, then LSU should go do to Alabama what they've done to everybody else, just move the ball up and down the field and score. So do that, see if you can get some stops defensively, and you should be in a really, really tough, really tight game. All right, let's say some good mornings here, see what y'all got. Appreciate you for being here as always. Brant Roban, tough news that LSU is missing so many starters on defense. Do you think Jefferson, Weeks, Stamps will do enough damage this weekend? Well, remember, Weeks isn't starting. So I'm not sure. He didn't even play very much against Auburn. So Jordan Jefferson taking Mekhi Wingo's spot. You know, Brian Kelly told us on Monday that Jordan Jefferson is actually graded out as their highest graded defensive lineman this year. You know, and I think Wingo's production has been down largely because he's been playing injured all year. So I think for him, it was really a question, do you keep toughing it out, trying to play through injury, or do you get it taken care of and try to be back and healthy in time for a potential playoff run or, you know, combine and draft prep and all that stuff. Ashton Stamps, I'm interested. You know, yeah, I'll tell you the thing about, and Shea Dixon's made this point, but, you know, a guy like Ryan Yates, you know, Ryan Yates went to one of those, you know, football factory schools up in the Dallas area, you know, in Denton. And as a result, he got really good coaching. And so part of the reason he's playing so early as a freshman, it was kind of that first safety on the field, was he knows his assignments. He knows coverages. You know, like he was taught that doesn't happen everywhere at the high school level. Same thing with Stamps. Stamps went to Rummel. Rummel's a really good high school football program. And, you know, there's a big difference between some guys that are just raw athletes that you sign because they're great athletes and you're going to mold them into great football players, and guys that are great athletes or good athletes from football factories that are really smart, high IQ football players that get on the field early. I think, you know, that's one of the things you're seeing with Yates, and I think you'll see with Stamps as well. Now, can he go run with Isaiah Bond? We'll find out. Henry Gordon Bennett, morning, Matt. Happy Bama hate week. Going back to last year, I think of the biggest play of that game was Major Burns running down Gibbs on what looked like a sure TD. I believe that resulted in a Young interception, was potentially the difference in the game. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that was Joe Fouché who had the interception in the end zone. Huge play. Bubba Smith, good morning. Brant Roban, do you think the LSU D-line can wreak havoc on a weaker Bama O-line, which allows Perkins to drive Milroe crazy all game? So, do I think LSU will pressure Jalen Milroe? Absolutely. Bama's offensive line has been objectively very bad this year. There are only 4 teams in college football that have allowed more sacks than Alabama. It's a Wake Forest, Colorado, Old Dominion, and who am I missing? I forget. Anyway, point is, there's only 4 teams in college football that have allowed more sacks than Alabama. Should LSU get home and pressure Jalen Milroe? Absolutely. Is this a Harold Perkins game? This feels like it would be more a Braden Swinson game. But I'd love to see him get creative with Perkins and find a way to let him have that big, like, impactful game on the stage. I would love to see it, absolutely. Craig Dugas, did LSU play a high school? Did LSU basketball play a high school team last night? Yeah, they had an exhibition last night. Whatever. There's like no justification at all for talking about LSU basketball in an exhibition LSU Bama week. Trivia Carter, morning. Jerry G, Larry Garner, Jeff Hawk, good morning. Brett DeGrow, Barry Jocelyn, Brian Wynn, good morning, y'all. Jesse Brown, Pat Huseman, what up? What up? Randall Offrecht. How many LSU quarterbacks have beaten Alabama twice? So the last one would be Jamarcus. Someone asked that question maybe here the other day. Jamarcus beat him there in 05 and here in 06. Flynn beat him in 07. Lee was a quarterback in 08 when they lost. Jefferson was a quarterback there in 09 when they lost. Lee was the quarterback here in 10 when they won. And then Jefferson started. Wait, did Jefferson or Lee start the 11 game? Maybe Lee started and Jefferson. So maybe we could count Lee because I think Lee started that game. And then Jefferson came in. Did Lee start and Jefferson come in? Lee did start. Lee started and Jefferson came in. So Jarrett Lee, technically, he was the starting quarterback. Gets credit for the win. So Jarrett Lee in 10 and 11. Well, no, because Jordan started in 09. In 10, forgive me. Jordan started the 10 game. So Jordan started the 10 game and Lee would come off the bench and throw. Lee started the 11 game and Jefferson came in. So if you want to count that, count it however you want. But then you didn't win again, obviously, until Burrow in 19 and then last year. Let's see, before Jamarcus in 5 and 6, Randall, Mock, you lost in 02, Davey won in 01, Booty was a quarterback in 2000 when they won. You lost in 96. It was the Sean Alexander game. Yeah, now you're going far back there. Yeah. So not many, man. Jason Mobile, good morning. I was thinking yesterday when you talked about Harbaugh, this is similar to Will Wade. Good coach, maybe forced out because of stupid stuff that everyone does. Dalton Barnett, rip all the transfer corners. Hate it for Zai, but excited to see what these youngsters can do versus top competition. I'm with you, Dalton. And next year, listen, I mean, all these guys could come blue. I think it's pretty clear that Denver Harris and Deuce Chestnut won't be back, but J.K. Johnson will be healthy. Get to see what he might be able to bring. And Zai could come back for another year. So, maybe watching those guys develop another year could be interesting. Barry Jocelyn, man, Wingo out during the November stretch of games just sucks. Yes, it does. I think LSU was very intentional, though, when they went in the transfer portal and got defensive linemen. Jordan Jefferson's played very well. Paris Shand has been a versatile piece inside and out. Jalen Lee is massive. Let's not forget you've still got Jacoby and Guillory. They've got plenty of numbers on the interior. Dax Jeter, morning, Matt. How many points do we need to score to win this game? 42. Well, the most Alabama scored in a conference game this year is 40. That was against Mississippi State. They beat State 40-17. They're averaging 20. I did the math yesterday. I think they're averaging 29 a game in conference play. Here's their points per game in conference. 24 against Ole Miss, 40 against Mississippi State, 26 against A&M, 24 against Arkansas, and then 34 against Tennessee, where they just had the monster second half. And I'm pretty sure they had a defensive score in the second half. Yeah, they had the fumble return. So the offense, Alabama's offense scored 27, and then the defense had a touchdown. So, and I did not watch the Mississippi State game to tell you whether or not they had a defensive score in that game. Let's see. They did have an interception return. So they had an interception return against State, so they really scored 33. So the most the offense has scored in a conference game is 33. All right, smash that like button if you would. Subscribe up to the channel on YouTube. Facebook, please like the Matt Scone page, share the post. So how many points? Yeah, I would say if you score 40, you should win this game. Brad David, morning. Did you hear what Dabo said on his coach's show? I did. Why do coaches have to take calls from fans? LSU discontinued that. Actually, I don't listen to the Brian Kelly show, but I was told, I don't listen to the coach's show, but I was told before the season that they were discontinuing callers. Like, they're not taking callers on coaches' shows. Yeah, like, there's a reason I never take a phone call on radio. Nobody wants to hear callers, and they generally provide nothing and only open you to liability. So, for things like that. Wendell Norman, Bradley and Graffia, Cliff Nelson, good morning. Cool weather is here. Feels like football outside. Cliff, you know what's crazy? Like on Thursday or Friday this week, the high is 81. We're gonna have a low this week. We'll have a low in the 30s and a high in the 80s. It's crazy, but I'll enjoy it. Jason H, good morning. Josh Higginbotham, Jerry G, LSU and Bama still should be a good game Saturday night. Yeah. State 99, are Deuce Chestnut or Denver Harris on the team next year? I'm going to say no. Barry Jocelyn, Brian Kelly answering those questions yesterday was painful. Sure, the freshmen are elite coming out of high school, but next man up means drop off. Difference between freshman and a 2 or 3 year starter. Barry, I'm with you, but I'm going to keep hammering this point home. Your starters weren't good. I mean, let's just be real, man. Like, just aren't good. Get the young dudes ready to roll. Ain't got no choice. I mean, I know I've given you all this example before. I don't mean to keep repeating myself, but 2013, Rashard Robinson had to go through the NCAA clearinghouse, wasn't cleared until the week of the opener, missed all of camp. Got on campus the week of the opener against TCU and was making plays in Jerry World against TCU. Was about 160 pounds. Dude was a pencil. Dude, either you could play or you can't. Go make plays. Cameron Take, morning, Matt. No, you said you're not the recruiting guy, but if you strike out on Underwood and McIntyre, where do you go from there? I have no idea. I'm not the recruiting guy. Transfer portal. Cliff Nelson, is Emory Jones 100%? Should we be concerned of re-injury during the game? He's good, man. I don't think anybody at this point in the season is 100%. You know that cliche, but Emory's fine. Irfan Sayad, Weston Weaver, Dalton Barnett, Barry, his pressers are very painful. Says so much, doesn't answer questions. Oh, I flatly disagree with that, Dalton. No, Brian Kelly actually does answer questions. Take it from a guy who has sat in more hours of press conferences of mindless coach speak in his life, hours which he can never get back, to tell you that, yes, Brian Kelly actually gives answers to questions. I mean, the fact that he provides an injury report, we'll talk about depth. Whenever he was asked about Kylan Jackson, he was candid about, how far he has to come and mature and develop. Brother, I sat through 10 years of Les Miles press conferences, which were nothing but a word salad. The dude just jumbled words together that were often incoherent, just intentionally trying to confuse people. No, brother, Brian Kelly answers questions. It's one of the things I really respect. And if you ever notice, there's a lot of times people will ask 2 questions and he will answer them sequentially without even having to go back and say, and what was the second question? Like, without missing a beat. He is very, very polished and very good in that setting. Yeah, I could not disagree with you more. Could not disagree with you more. And maybe it's just that I have the perspective of having sit in like countless hours of press conferences over my career. Brian Kelly is refreshingly candid. Whew. Does everybody think that? I'm curious. Who was that? Was that Dalton? It was Dalton. Does everybody think that? I'm curious. Like, it may just be it may be that I'm just coming from a different perspective because I sit in press conferences all the time. I'm curious if everyone thinks that Brian Kelly's press conferences that he doesn't. Bruh, he's. Vernell Thomas, what's going on? What's of all the rumors about Jameis being traded to Minnesota? I don't think it's going to happen. I talked about it yesterday just because people keep asking the question. And you're right to ask the question. If I were the Saints, I would trade him if there was interest, but I don't think it's going to happen. Darren Reeves, good morning, Matt. I'm going to go ahead and predict this game will be very much like 2019. LSU 38-35. Remember, Alabama's been a slow starting team and a really good second half team. They have trailed at halftime. They trailed at halftime against Ole Miss, A&M, and Tennessee. So Ole Miss led 7-6 at half. A&M led by 7. A&M led 17-10. And then Tennessee led by 13. It was 20-7. So Bama has been down at half 3 times already in conference games and has come back in the second half. So I could very much see that playing out where LSU does lead at half and Bama has to rally. That's something that Bama has done quite a bit. So anyway, Bruce Parker, Daniel Laurent, what's going on? Booty lost at Bama in 99. He did lose at Bama in 99, but then he won in 2000, Baton Rouge. Let's see. Kerry Hughes, do we see Quincy at all? Probably not. I mean, your rotation there with Savion Jones, Parashane, Quincy Wiggins has been really good. I don't know that we see Quincy Wiggins. Where are we? Lowell Cormier, good morning. 3 degrees in North Dakota. Oh my God, how do you do it, Lowell? Oh my God, how do you do it? Brent Roban, Brian Kelly is miles above our last few coaches with questions and press conferences. Bruce Parker Kelly's the first eloquent speaker we've had since Nick Saban. Bill Schmid, good morning. Darren Gagnon, agree 100%. Brian Kelly is direct answering questions, no doubt. Okay. Just making sure that it wasn't me. So, man. Barry Jocelyn, the comparison of Brian Kelly to Les and Ogeron is hilarious. Getting Musso to make a montage of press conference videos of the last 3 coaches. We used to have a folder. Like when Les was the coach, I would keep an audio folder. So for those who don't know, I mean, just think about how you would keep a folder on your computer of different files or whatever. We would keep a folder of audio of like Les isms, like useless sound, and we would do less useless sound montages from time to time. So from that to like Ed, we would keep a folder of him saying tremendous. Like his crutch word was tremendous. Everything. Tremendous young man. Tremendous football player. Tremendous week of practice. So we would just have like a folder of Ed saying tremendous 1,000 times and going. He would always he had some nasal problem. He would do that all the time in his press conferences. Anyway, like when you get bored, we used to sit in the Les Miles press conferences. We were really going down a tangent now, but Lee Feinswag would sit in the back of the press conference with Les, and he would chart. Les would say, if it was I have a want to, we want to, like want, what else would he say? Anyway, Lee would sit there and tally how many times Les would use certain words like want or I forget what they were. It's been so long now. But anyway. Okay, smash that like button if you would. Subscribe up to the channel. A couple more. Sorry, I'm trying to find my spot. I lost my spot, y'all. I'm just going to go to the bottom. Blaine Rishu, noticed Mason Taylor hadn't had quite as many touches this season as last year. Is he still banged up? Can we expect him to have a big game on Saturday night? I think a big part of it is your receivers have just been awesome. Mason's been really good, though, when called upon. He was hurt early in the year. Antron Hemingway didn't get a chance to catch the press conference yesterday. Did Kelly say how long Wingo and Alexander out? No, you're good. I think Zy Alexander could be out for the year. Wingo he said out for the season, but really it's a 6-week injury. So there's a chance that if LSU makes the playoff, Wingo would be back for that. Glenn Crowdis between Les and I felt like my brain was fried. Brian Kelly's breath of fresh air. Okay, good. I'm glad everyone's in agreement on that. Brad David, was that as bad as Les in press conferences? It was a different kind of bad, but yes, he was bad. Barry Johnson, those Bama scoring numbers are much lower than I thought. State was their highest and only 33 by the offense. Wow, we are going to hang 40 on Ole Nick. I think if LSU scores 40, they'll win. I think this is probably a game in the mid-upper 30s, low 40s, like a 41-38, 40-35, 38-37. I think it's something like that. It's going to be a close game. I think I think you were going to see a repeat of Arkansas, Ole Miss, Missouri. Both offenses go up and down the field. Who has the ball last and makes a play in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's what I think the game is. Tiger Diver, are you ready for some action? Let's go. Let's get that action. Actually, tonight is a Halloween, so we always host trick or treat at our place. Kids are getting older though, so it was when the kids were younger and they all dressed up. It was a lot of fun, but all the nieces and nephews, all the cousins they're all getting older, man. Reese is Olivia's 18. Reese is 16. Eli made 13. Oh my God, Eli made 13. Eli was born 4th of July 2010, so Eli's 13 now. And I'm saying this, a lot of my nieces and nephews because y'all see them when we're on vacation and they come on the show and all. But Eli's 13. Sophia's 12. And then Drew is 9. I don't know if any of the kids are even going to trick or treat. So anyway. Okay, I got to go. It's 8 o'clock. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Appreciate you for being there. LSU Daily is live. I posted the Monday episode last evening, so sorry that was late, but the Tuesday episode is already live. So I just recorded them back-to-back last night, published the Monday episode, and then Tuesday I set to publish this morning. So if you want to catch up, LSU Daily on your favorite podcast app, subscribe up, and then AFR 3. Okay, y'all, thanks so much for being here. As always, have an awesome day. We'll see you for AFR 3. Peace.